This is my first ever video. I've been working on it for a while, so I hope I do this topic justice. Alright, here we go. My Hero Academia is a manga series created by Kohei Horikoshi and serialized in Weekly Shonen Jump, the biggest manga magazine in the whole entire world. It is also one of the few Jump titles to break out with a mainstream Western audience. A series filled with fans who deeply love the story and analyze every single moment in every new chapter that releases every week. Now, you may be wondering, why is it so popular? And that's a good question. So I'm going to brutally oversimplify the story real quick. The series' main character, his name is Izuku Midoriya, a young child who deeply admires All Might, the #1 hero in the world. Now, in said world, around 80% of the population possesses this power called a quirk. And a quirk is basically just a superpower. And Izuku is in the minority 20% who does not possess said quirk. And due to the unfortunate fact of his genetics, he is beaten and bullied because he does not have a quirk. Even though, with this unfortunate realization that he does not have a quirk, he still desperately dreams of becoming a hero just like his idol. Then one day, Deku encounters a villain and is saved by All Might. And through plot in the first episode and second episode, if you watch the anime series, he proves himself and he is given this quirk called One for All, a quirk passed down through generations. And now Deku has the tools to become a hero just like him. Here's something I want to focus on. From the beginning of the story, we learn the fact that around 80% of the population has a quirk. And I understand the story is mainly focused in Japan. It's written by a Japanese mangaka, but to me, it feels kind of weird of having a story around 80% of the population has a quirk, and other countries is not shown about how quirks are regulated. It doesn't make no sense in my opinion. Please just take a moment and realize this fact. 80% of the world population has a quirk. And I get that most quirks aren't really that powerful. But again, I'm going to emphasize, it just doesn't make sense why other countries are not shown. For example, let's apply a real life example. China currently has a population around like 1.4 billion. 80% of that is like 1.12 billion people who would have a quirk. India currently has a population around 1.3 billion people. And if you add 80% on that, you would have at least about 1.053 billion quirk users. One for All is implied in the story that it is the most powerful quirk in the whole verse. Since 80% of the world population has a quirk, it's also stated that for the most part, most quirks are weak. For example, like the quirk's tail or stretchy eyeballs, things of that nature. But that would also yield a very tiny percentage of the global population that has just absolutely insane broken quirks that shouldn't even really exist. Like, for example, in the overhaul arc, spoilers if you're trying to get into the show. If you are trying to get into the show, I highly recommend you get into it. But in the overhaul arc, there's a little girl, Eri, that has the power to rewind time. And that is just in Japan. Like, think about other time-based quirk abilities. There's a girl that can rewind time, whether it's like a yellow-haired buff guy that can like stop time. Or a guy that blows things up to protect his identity so he can live quietly in a small mountain town. Great. Now I'm making JoJo references in an MHA video. Fantastic. But to get back to the main point of the video, think about uncontacted tribes like we have in this world. Think about them developing quirks. And now, think about one of the members developing a quirk that broken, kind of like Eri. It kind of does not make any in-universe sense of how the world has not been like destroyed. And also for the two strongest quirks, One for All and the main villain All for One, to just be duking it out in Japan. Man, Horikoshi is a wonderful writer, and I really do hope he gets around to it, because this is the plot point I really love to see. Or not, because if he did, this video wouldn't exist, and I don't want that to happen. Also, by the way, in one of the pictures that I found on the internet with like Horikoshi wearing that mask, looks exactly like a plague doctor. Oh. No wonder why Overhaul looks like that. Huh. I didn't know he was such a germ freak. But in all seriousness, I do hope Horikoshi takes time in MHA to like give details on how other countries throughout the world regulate their quirk uses, because that is a very interesting topic. I mean, if you read the series, most people can kind of figure out how like America would regulate quirks because like the Second Amendment and like things like that, and how Japan works due to like the nature to follow authority, you know? People can guess, but like, what about like quirks in like, I don't know, like Mexico and like drug cartels? Like, think about that. That's cool. Or like Brazil and also their drug gangs. Man, I'm talking about drug gangs a lot. Or like the African powerhouses of like Nigeria and South Africa, the culture power of France, to the United Kingdom. I googled British man on Google, and this is the picture that I came up with. I don't know who this guy is, but just look at him. Look at him! Two economic powerhouses in the world, like China and the United States. So with that in mind, I'm going to start a new video series on this channel, where I'm going to do an in-depth look on how other countries would regulate their quirks in this series. Because of the topic I'm covering, looking at individual countries and how would they regulate quirks, there's kind of a problem. MHA is based off, the real world, and there is over 195 recognized countries. Now, I'm not going to go and do how quirks will be regulated in Uzbekistan. Right? You're not coming to this channel to see that. So, the video series would mainly focus on big countries and distinct cultures, generally countries that it would be interesting to think about how a superhero society would function. So, with that in mind, in my first episode of this quirk regulation series, I know, not really the best title, but there's no way you can make quirk regulations sound cool. Like, yeah, regulations, that's what young kids in Japan like to read. I'm going to take an in-depth look on how the Chinese government would regulate a quirk society. Because look, that will be a fun topic to think about. So, yeah, I'm going to do that. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Alright, let's do this. Oh, man. Quirk Regulation Society? Why did I pick this as a topic? Why? Oh, I'm gonna have to read now, man. Oh. You're still here? What are you doing? Leave. The video's over. Why are you staying? Get out. Go to another video. Go. Go. I'll get started. I promise. Fine. Go. Shoot. Watch something else. Like watch the Anime Man or something. Alright, bye.